This video is going to cover a few things. Feel free to fast forward to the part you need help with. So here is a problem solving for the area of a triangle. You can see that the plots have already been pointed, point D, E, and F. The first thing you need to do is find your base, okay? That's the B in the formula you see at the bottom there. So to do that, we're going to find our base, this point on the bottom, and count from one side to another. If we count each box that line touches, we'll find that it touches 8. So that length is 8 for our base. Okay. Once we have our base, our next job is to find our height. Okay. The height of a triangle comes from the tallest point down to the base. It has to be a straight line if it's going to do you any good for this shortcut we're teaching you. Okay. So we're going to go to our top point and draw this straight line here, mostly straight. I mean, it should be straight. Nobody's perfect, right? And we're going to find that that's 6, okay? So, and I just named the base, the point where that touches is C, but it's really my height, okay? So now I can solve my formula, okay? Remember, base times height divided by 2 is the same as 1/2 base times height, okay? So I can do 8 times 6 divided by 2, and that's going to give me my answer for the area of this triangle, which is 24 units squared. Okay, and remember that's units because I haven't been given, like, it doesn't say that this is, 8 meters or anything, okay? So here is solving for the area of a polygon. Remember, poly just means many, and gon means side. So this is a figure with multiple sides. I have to plot my points, okay, to understand what kind of shape I'm working with. So here I'm trying to color code the points. Okay, I have point N, P, Q, and R. And look at that. That looks like what I would call a square. Solving for the area of a square or a rectangle, right, because it has 4 sides, it's just going to be length times width. And it doesn't really matter which side you call length and which side you call width, okay? They just can't be opposite one another. So in this case, I count my units for each, and they're 3. So my math I have to do is length times width, which will be 3 times 3. Okay, and that would be 9 units squared. We call them square units because of we're finding the area here. If we knew that each side was 3 inches, our answer would be inches squared, right? 3 square inches, or it might be square feet. You might have heard of square feet when we're talking about like a house or something. You are also being asked to solve for perimeter. An example we did in class is solving for the perimeter of a polygon. Remember, we have to plot those points to really understand what kind of shape we're working with, which is going to understand us what math we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and plop these points on there. You can see I have point K, L, and M. And then when I draw it, it looks like kind of a slanted rectangle. We'll learn later that that's probably a parallelogram, okay, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I'm going to count my straight sides. That's the easy part, okay? I'm going to count the units, remember, and find that that is 5 units on those straight sides. But then the tricky part is going to be to find the distance of these diagonal sides. I could, if I wanted to, use the big old ugly distance formula. Or I could say, you know what, life's too short. I want to use that Pythagorean shortcut. To do that, I'm going to need to draw myself a right triangle. And all I'm going to do is come down to this point N and draw a straight line up, and then over to point K. And all of a sudden, I have this side here that I can measure just by counting. I'll find that that's 3. If I count side K, I find that it's 2 units. And then I can use my shortcut, a squared plus b squared, and work it out like so. So I'm going to work this problem out and get down to the square root of 13, which is about 3.6 if I round. Then notice I've solved for these blue diagonal sides, right? The question asks me, if you look at the top, for the perimeter of the polygon. So now that I know the length of every side, I just need to add my numbers together. So I add 5 plus 5 plus 3.6 plus 3.6. That's going to give me my final answer, which is 17.22.